Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry video. Today's video, we're going to take a look at the Ylthari's Guardians box set and see how we can use it to start off a Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry warband for the Sylvaneth. Now, Ylthari's Guardians are one of the many Warhammer Underworlds warbands that have received rules in the current Tome of Champions 2021. And if you like any of the Underworlds warbands models, because they are fantastic miniatures, if they are from a season of Diachasm or before, they will have rules in the Tome of Champions. So this includes Nightvault, Shadespire, and Beastgrave as well. A bunch of fantastic miniatures. In this video, we're going to go through all the contents of the Ylthari's Guardians box set, talk about what they bring to the table and what we can use them for, then look at some other Sylvaneth models we can use to complete a 1,000 round warband, and show you a little warband at the end as a little sample army list for you to use as some inspiration to create your own warband. Now with that all said, let's get talking about Ylthari and the Guardians. Ylthari is a wizard for the Force, so he's got the she has the generic sort of wizard attack there with 3-7 range, 2 attack, strength 3, 3-6 on the damage, pretty nice. And then combat has a 2-inch range with 3 attack, strength 3, or 1-4 on the damage. Toughness 3 and 20 wounds is decent, low toughness, but a decent amount of wounds on the model. Now we do have a quad ability available to only Ylthari called the Reaping. We roll a dice for each visible enemy fighter within 6 inch of the fighter, and on a 2+ allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of its ability to the fighter being rolled for. Pretty powerful. A quad going off on 2s doing some damage. If you get like a nice high 6 or a 5 on those quads, could be really powerful to use the Reaping. We also have another warband ability, which is a double available to everyone in the warband, and it's called Vigor and Wrath. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add 1 to the damage points allocated by each critical hit from attack actions made by this fighter. This applies to both ranged and close combat attacks. No sort of abilities there negated, which is pretty cool because we've got a good mixed force. Now, our first fighter is Scathael. This is the one wielding the sword, pointing down on the ground, you can see there. It's got a 1-inch range, 4 attack, strength 3, 2-4 damage, and 3 toughness and 12 wounds. Is pretty fragile, though it is a couple of extra wounds than your generic Kurnoth Hunter. Your generic Tree-revenant. And then we've got Galligan of the Glade as well, which is the one with the giant axe. Definitely much more hitty than your generics. Tree-revenant, 2-inch range, 2 attacks only, but strength 4 and 3-6 on the damage. You can really pack a punch. You just need to be really careful on how using this fighter with a toughness of 3 and only 10 wounds is extremely fragile. Lastly, we have Anslain Revenant Archer, which is pretty cool, adding in a Tree-revenant Archer. I mean, we're all hoping we see that unit come out one day in Age of Sigmar proper. But in this 3 to 15-inch range with 2 attacks, strength 3, 1-4 on damage. And then in combat, it's got 2 attacks at strength 3, 1-2 on damage. Nothing too great there. Toughness of 3, 10 wounds. Once again, this warband is extremely fragile, so needing to use all these fighters in the correct way, making sure you're making great use of terrain across the battlefield so that nothing untoward happens to any of your important fighters. Now with all of that said, let's start thinking about where we can go after this to expand upon the warband. And so we start looking at a couple of different characters we can bring into the force. There are 2 that really stick to my mind. First of all is the Arch-revenant, a really cool fighter with 2-inch range, 4 attack, strength 4 and 2-5 on the damage. Toughness of 4 is really nice in the Sylvaneth, and 25 wounds. There are quite a few different abilities and different runes that this one has access to. So first of all, it is got the ability of the double for Zephyr Sprite's Tail Pincers, where you pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and roll a dice. On a 3 to 4, allocate 1 damage point. On a 5 to 6, you allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of the ability. We then also have access to some other cool abilities around the force as well, which is really nice. Draw from the Spirit Song is just a healing ability that every Sylvaneth has available to, where you recover a number of damage points equal to the value of half this ability, and this is available to every Sylvaneth warrior on the double, which is just really solid. And then we've just got some other cool things we can bring into the force. First of all, we have what I recommend is probably one of the good ones, is bringing in a branch wraith with Blessing of the Forest. This is an ability only available to them on a triple, and you remove a damage point allocated to each friendly fighter within 6 inch. Really good for healing, really good if you're playing with the more ranged version of some of the Sylvaneth warriors, which in Ylthari's Guardians you can definitely build towards thanks to having Ainsley in there straight away. Now, if we start looking at some other fighters, Kurnoth Hunters are definitely a way to go. You can build leaders of options of them, but even just the non-leader variations, the fact they have 30 wounds and a toughness of 4 really does add some meat to your Sylvaneth force. We have 3 different options of them. Kurnoth Hunters with Scythes have a 2-inch range, a 3 attack, strength 4, 3/6 on the damage. Meanwhile, the Great Bows have 2 shots at range of 3 to 20 inch, strength 4, 2/5. And you've got 4 attacks at strength 4, 2/5 on the damage with your greatswords. So some really solid options, but definitely it is the toughness that makes them great. And also the cool ability of Trample Underfoot for a double, where you pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and roll a number of dice equal to the value of his ability for each 4+ allocated damage point to the enemy fighter. Lastly, we have Tree-revenants. This is a great box because it gives you a ton of different options. You can build either Tree-revenants or Spite-revenants from this box set. Tree-revenants are really cool. They're going to have the wicked ability called Walk the Spirit Paths for a triple, where you remove this fighter from the battlefield and set them up anywhere on the battlefield more than 5 inch away from enemy fighters. Just really, really good ability here. Now, this is only available to normal Tree-revenants. Ylthari's Guardians do not have this ability, so it is important to maybe think about bringing a couple of Tree-revenants into your force. At 50 renown each, they are pretty good, though they are really fragile. Toughness of 3 and 8 wounds makes them extremely fragile. We don't have Spite-revenants. For 20 extra renown, you'll get the cool ability of a double called Shrieking Terror, where you can pick a visible enemy fighter within a number of inches equal to the value of his ability and roll a dice. On a 3+, until the end of the battle round, that fighter cannot make move actions or disengage actions. Really good for pinning enemies in place and allowing your shooting units to take full advantage. But here we have a little warband for you all. Now we've gone with Ylthari and the Branch Wraith here as your 2 heroes. The reason why I do prefer the Branch Wraith is because we do have those shooting units in, so we can definitely keep them backboard. The Branch Wraith is just going to allow them to keep healing. Ylthari is great as sort of a mid-range fighter with her ranged ability and also the chance for, the quad to go off with the Reaping. Scathow and Gallagher provide you with some good offensive units, and the Tree-revenants, the 2 of them we've gone with in this warband, provide you with some really important maneuverability around the board. Lastly, we've got a Spite-revenant. Like I said, this is just a fantastic model for pinning enemies in place, not allowing them to move or retreat, so allowing them to get pinned into place and then shot apart by Ainsley and the Kurnoth Hunter with the Great Bow. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, drop us a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sylvaneth Gaming, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel and get your name up on the screen like all these fantastic people do, you can do so by supporting us either on Patreon or YouTube members. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd love to give them a shout out. So a shout out to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Dynet226. And a shout out to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Shelf, Adriana Edwards, and Sean Scott. A special thanks as well to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for our channel, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for our channel's Discord server as well. Thank you all for watching. Once again, everyone, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.